Robert Barisford Brown, born February 5, 1969 3, is an American singer, songwriter, rapper, dancer and actor. Brown, alongside frequent collaborator Teddy Riley, is noted as a pioneer of New Jack Swing, a fusion of hip-hop and R&B. Brown started his career in the R&B and pop group New Edition, from its inception in 1981 until his exit from the group in December 1985. 4. Starting a solo career, Brown enjoyed commercial and critical success with his second album Don't Be Cruel, 1988, which spawned 5 Billboard Hot 100 Top 10 singles including the #1 hit My Prerogative, and the Grammy Award-winning Every Little Step. 5. In 1989, Brown contributed 2 songs to the soundtrack of Ghostbusters II. In 1992, Brown married singer Whitney Houston, with whom he had a daughter named Bobbi Kristina Brown. The couple's drug abuse and domestic disputes made them tabloid fodder. 6. Brown's next album Bobbi, 1992, spawned several hit singles including Humpin' Around, Get Away, and Good Enough. However, sales of Bobbi did not match its predecessor. Some surmise that this may have been due to Brown's recent marriage to Houston, and his decision to take a break from the business for reasons involving his marriage and impending new fatherhood. Brown also starred in films such as A Thin Line Between Love and Hate and Two Can Play That Game. He returned to New Edition for a reunion album and tour from 1996 to 1997, and returned with all 6 members for another stint in 2005. Brown and Houston starred in the 2005 reality show Being Bobbi Brown, and divorced 2 years later in 2007. Brown was born in Boston, Massachusetts, 3, as one of 8 children of Carol Elizabeth, born Williams, a substitute teacher, and Herbert James Brown, a construction worker. 7-8, Brown grew up in Roxbury's Orchard Park projects. 9-10-11, Brown's first taste of being on stage occurred when he was 3 and one of his childhood idols, James Brown, performed in Boston. This performance sparked a dream of becoming a singer. Brown joined the church choir, where he recognized and developed his singing abilities. Brown's musical influences also include Rick James, Michael Jackson, Marvin Gaye, and Prince. 12. New Edition was founded in 1981 by 12-year-old Brown and childhood friends Michael Bivins and Ricky Bell. 13. Ralph Tresvant joined the group at the suggestion of Bell, who sang with Tresvant as a duo. Brown was also familiar with Tresvant since they were children. In 1982, they became a quintet when their manager Brooke Payne insisted on bringing in his nephew Ronnie DeVoe to complete the group. After performing in several talent shows in the Boston area in 1979, they signed a deal with fellow Bostonian Arthur Baker's Streetwise Records, who released their debut album Candy Girl. The title track, on which Brown sang co-lead alongside Bell and Tresvant, was a top 20 hit on Billboard's R&B singles chart in 1983. Brown's first full lead vocal performance was on the New Edition ballad Jealous Girl, which was a minor hit when it also charted in 1983. The group became pop sensations with their self-titled second release. The album included the crossover hits Cool It Now and Mr. Telephone Man, which Brown also co-led. Despite the group's success, however, Brown felt the group was never rightfully paid the money they felt they had earned from their success, later saying, "The most I saw from all the tours and all of the records we sold was $500 and a VCR." Brown also allegedly grew jealous of the attention given to fellow New Edition member Ralph Tresvant, and during some of their tour performances would often step out of his position and perform out of turn, singing and performing seductively, which caused concern within the group's management team. Brown was featured on 2 more New Edition albums before leaving the group in early 1986. 14. Brown later said he felt that the group's management treated them like little slaves by people who were only interested in money and power, and not in the welfare of New Edition. Some controversy arose over the way Brown was removed from the group. Some say Brown asked to be let out of New Edition, but a VH1 Behind the Music documentary on the group claimed Brown was voted out by the group via their management team, with the members, most prominently Tresvant, against the decision. Following his exit from New Edition, Brown signed a contract with his former group's label, MCA, which had earlier promised Brown a solo deal if he had decided to leave New Edition, and also signed with manager Stephen McCatt, who had also worked with New Edition. The label released his debut album King of Stage in 1986. Brown had a #1 R&B hit with the ballad Girlfriend, but the album otherwise failed to perform well. Brown laid low for more than a year while working on his follow-up album. With the help of McHat and MCA representative Louil Silas, Brown began working with some of the top R&B producers and songwriters of the time, including Babyface, Antonio L. A. Reid and Teddy Riley. The producers helped to compose what became Brown's most successful solo album of his career, Don't Be Cruel. Released in 1988, the album launched 5 top 10 hits on the Billboard Hot 100, 5, including the #1 single, the self-penned My Prerogative, which became, along with Every Little Step and the title track, signature hits for the performer. After topping both the pop and R&B charts, album sales would eventually reach 12 million copies worldwide, making it the best-selling album of 1989. In February 1990 he won the Grammy Award for Best Male R&B Vocal Performance for the album's 4th single Every Little Step. 15. Don't Be Cruel also garnered Brown 2 American Music Awards, a Soul Train Music Award and a People's Choice Award. In 1989, Brown contributed 2 songs to the soundtrack of Ghostbusters II, and he also had a cameo role in the film. Leading off the soundtrack album, On Our Own became another top 10 single for the singer, peaking at #2. The same year, a remix compilation, Dance! You Know It, was released, and found fans in the United Kingdom, where Brown had a fan base and had major success. Brown embarked on a 120-day world tour to promote the Don't Be Cruel project in 1988. The tour was a success, with I'll Be Sure opening for him, and New Edition also opening for him on some dates. The tour lasted into the spring of 1991, but not without Brown gaining notoriety for simulating sexual acts on stage, which got him into trouble with local law enforcement. 16. In 1990, Bobbi performed Tap Into My Heart at the 1990 MTV Awards, and Brown was set to release the album Mystical Magic, but it was shelved for reasons unknown, and never saw the light of day. In 1990, Brown was featured on the #1 hit She Ain't Worth It by Glenn Medeiros, making it his second #1 hit on the pop chart, and also collaborated with Babyface for the remix of the latter's single Tender Lover that same year. Brown stayed busy and, in 1991, he collaborated with New Edition member and friend Ralph Tresvant on the latter's single Stone Cold Gentleman, which was a top 5 R&B hit. Brown's next album Bobbi wouldn't arrive until 1992. Despite its release during the final days of the new Jack Swing era, one that Brown had dominated, the album did become a success, selling more than 3 million copies, and spawning several hit singles including Humpin' Around, Get Away, and Good Enough. He received his second Grammy Award for Best Male R&B Vocal Performance nomination for Humpin' Around. 15. He received his third American Music Award in January 1993. However, sales of Bobbi did not match its predecessor. Some surmise that this may have been due to Brown's recent marriage to Whitney Houston, and his decision to take a break from the business for reasons involving his marriage and impending new fatherhood. In any case, he and Houston had recorded a song together, Something in Common, which was released as a single from the Bobbi album. In 1994, dance producers K-Class remixed To Can Play That Game from the Bobbi album. It would become Bobbi's biggest single in the UK, peaking at #3 in 1995, and is seen as a 1990s dance classic and probably the single he is best remembered for in the UK. 4 years later he would release his 4th solo album Forever, in 1997. Due to lack of promotion and Brown's desire to break from previous success patterns and write and produce most of the tracks, the album tanked, and the album's only single, Feeling Inside, was not successful.